Let's get it rented. I get asked all the time, what if my property doesn't rent, or how am I going to get it rented once I'm ready? So if it's your first rental property that you're getting ready to put out on the market, or if you just think you can get a little better, this one is for you. Here's what we do. We finished rehabbing the property. We're ready to get it leased. What do we need to do? First thing we need to know is what are other properties around here rent for? What are our comparable rents? We want to look at what things have rented for recently, and then we also want to know what's on the market right now, because that's our current competition. But more importantly, we're going to focus on what price have previous properties that are similar to this in the same area rented for. That's how we're going to come up with our market rent. Here's what we like to do. We like to price ours just a little bit below what's out there and what's in there, because that's going to be most appealing to the same people. People are looking in this area for a place to rent, and if ours is a little bit less, it's a little bit more appealing. We also like to make our properties a little bit nicer than what else we see out there. If we're a little bit less and just a little bit nicer, our properties lease 100% of the time. You can take away a lot of the risk of your property not renting and not renting quickly if you do just those two things. But once you know what to put it out there for, you need to figure out where you're gonna market this property. We always like to have a sign in the yard. A couple reasons, and we'll put that sign out there before we've completely finished the rehab, as we're getting close, because a lot of these neighbors are going to drive by, they're going to see that that house is for rent. We're going to make sure that we know that we have the bedrooms and bath on there, and also that we have the price on there. That'll stop a lot of your phone calls, because most people are going to say, hey, how much is it? And then how many bedrooms and baths does it have? If you put just those two things on the sign with the phone number and for rent, you can take out a lot of the calls that aren't going to work for you. And that sign is also, all these neighbors, they maybe have a sister, a brother, a cousin, an aunt, a friend from work. They would love to have them as a neighbor. They will tell them, and they will go ahead and start marketing your property to their friends and family ahead of time. We also like to put our properties on Zillow. It does cost a couple of bucks. It is not very expensive, but we can list it there online, and then they'll put it on several different websites just for listing on Zillow. Another place is apartments.com. If you have an account with them, you can sometimes list them for free on apartments.com. People also use Facebook Marketplace. That's another place a lot of people look for things to rent. So you want to figure out what you're listing, get it out there, take some good pictures of your property, because if you're showing it online, people are going to judge it by the pictures and the price and the location. If you got those on, then you write your description, describe what the property is. If you have any criteria, qualifications for rent, go ahead and put all that in there and get it out to the world. The phone is going to start ringing. Your property is going to lease if you take all these steps. The only time, at least in San Antonio, it could be different in other markets, the only time that I see that we don't, if people have a property that is in really bad shape, or they are way overpriced on their property, or they don't market their property at all. But if you do those things correctly, your property is going to get rented. It's probably going to get rented faster than other properties. Once you've got that, you've got the phone ringing, people want it, then you just follow your steps. We're always going to do our screening, and we've talked about that in other videos. Do our screening process, get our deposits, rents, get somebody moved into the house, get them going, and then you're on to the next one. I hope this helps. Let us know if we can help you. 210-201-6644, or you can find us on the website sellmysanantoniohouse.com.